All right, we are about to go on an incredible journey, like a 4.5 billion year journey. We're on the hunt for our solar system's baby picture. And in the process, we're going to try and solve one of the biggest mysteries out there.
I mean, it's the ultimate origin story, right? You look up, you see the sun, you're standing on Earth, you can spot planets in the night sky. But how did it all get here? What was in this spot before any of this existed? It is just a massive question.
And, you know, that's the real problem for astronomers. There's no video recording of Earth being made. We can't just fire up a time machine and go watch the sun ignite. So, if we can't actually go back and witness the creation of our own cosmic neighborhood, what are we supposed to do?
Well, we have to become cosmic detectives. Seriously, we have to search for clues, for cosmic fingerprints left at the scene. And it turns out the universe is absolutely full of them if you know where to look.
So the solution is to look way, way out there. We can't watch our own system's birth, but we can find other, much younger star systems that are going through that exact same process at this very moment. It's kind of like finding a hospital nursery full of newborns to figure out how we grew up. And when we peer into these planetary nurseries, places like the famous Orion Nebula, we see this incredible pattern. Young stars wrapped in these huge, spinning clouds of gas and dust. Astronomers call them circumstellar disks, and they are the key to this whole mystery. And really, that's the perfect way to think about it. Every single one of those disks we see out there is basically a baby picture of another solar system just getting started. So by studying them, we can piece together what our own family photo album must have looked like billions of years ago. So what if we actually learned from staring at all these stellar snapshots? What's the story that they're all telling us? This right here, this is the big idea. All the evidence, all those pictures of distant star systems, they all point to this one powerful conclusion. The theory is that our sun, the Earth, and all the other planets, they all formed together at the same time from one single gigantic spinning cloud. And that cloud has a name, the Solar Nebula. And this is so important. The Solar Nebula wasn't just some random puff of gas in space. Nope, it was our cosmic incubator. It held all the raw materials, every single ingredient needed to build everything we see around us in our solar system today. Just stop and think about that for a second. Everything from the unbelievable fire of the sun to the solid ground we're standing on right now, to the massive gas giants way out in the distance, it all came from the very same source. One single great mother cloud. Okay, so this is where it gets really wild. It's one thing to say, hey, it all came from a cloud, but it's a whole other thing to figure out how you go from, fine dust and wispy gas to a solid planet like Earth or a giant like Jupiter. How does that transformation actually happen? Well, the whole process starts small. You don't get planets right away. First, you get these things, planetesimals. You can just think of them as the first cosmic building blocks. At the beginning, tiny little grains of dust and ice started sticking together, almost like static cling on your clothes, before gravity eventually took over, building them up into these objects the size of cities or even bigger. So the process was this unbelievably violent, chaotic construction project on a massive scale. First, that big spinning cloud started to cool down. Then, gravity started pulling all that stuff together into countless planetesimals. Then, for millions of years, these things just smashed into each other, like a game of cosmic billiards, merging and getting bigger and bigger with every collision. These impacts created so much heat that the baby planets actually became molten, which allowed the heavy stuff like iron to sink to the core, while the lighter rock floated up to the surface. Now here's the thing. Not all of those planetesimals actually made it into a planet. The construction site was super messy, and a ton of the original building material just got left behind. And the coolest part? We can still see that stuff floating around today. So this is the key. When you see a comet blazing across the night sky, or you see pictures of asteroids, you are literally looking at leftovers from the birth of our solar system. These are the untouched 4.5 billion year old pieces of those original planetesimals. They're like cosmic fossils, telling us exactly what our home was built from. So let's just pull it all back together. It starts with a spinning cloud of gas and dust. That stuff clumps into tiny planetesimals. Those planetesimals go through this violent smash-up derby for millions of years, and eventually you get the worlds we know and love today. It's just an epic story of creation, and it all started from one single source. And this
This is why this matters to you and me. Every single element in the ground, in the air, even in your own body, it was once just floating around inside that solar nebula. The very carbon, the oxygen, the iron that makes you you, it was all forged in that enormous, ancient, cosmic cloud long before the Earth even existed. So tonight, if you get a chance, go outside and look up at the night sky. And think about that. You're not just looking at distant little lights. You're looking out at the same kind of cosmic dust that built our world and that ultimately built us. So what are you going to see? Just a bunch of stars? Or the dust of your own beginning?